of the State of Michigan versus Catherine Place, 24-0112. Council with parents.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Hayes, Assistant Attorney General, here for the people. P69 006.
And Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office, here to represent Ms. Place, who's appearing over Zoom today.
Okay, Ms. Place, today was the date that was scheduled for sentencing. Now you have a pre-sentence report with a recommendation as to how you are to be sentenced. That report was prepared back on December 3rd. Council, did you get a copy?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yes, we did, Your Honor.
Do you need to make corrections, updates, or deletions at all?
Nothing from the people.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the people only have
Your Honor, from the defense, Ms. Place, she is 39 years old, has never had a matter with the criminal justice system prior to this incident. She was working with the state of Michigan. As a result of this incident, she lost her job with that position. Since that time, she has been able to get employment doing substitute teaching. However, the school is aware of her situation here, and they're basically have told her that if it's all done today, then they'll continue. However, if she's on probation or there's more things going forward, then they would likely end that employment. Your Honor, there was a restitution amount. My client posted that as a bond at the time of the plea in order to do the plea. So that money has already been placed in the hands of the 54 District Court. We would just ask that that be ordered to be dispersed to the victim in this case, Mr. Baker. So with that being the case, Your Honor, we would just ask that you sentence Ms. Place to fines and costs in this matter. She has certainly suffered significant hardships related to her employment situation and the fact that she's already taken care of any restitution, Your Honor. Thank you.
A couple of things. I need a restitution sheet completed. Do we have restitution forms up down there? Should be like a red or pinkish color. Yep, that needs to be completed. The other thing is, the file says that the bond was personal recognizance.
We went to the counter, Your Honor, and we posted a special bond for the exact restitution amount.
But they not updated the file, the physical file of the receipt. Website. See that in the system at all?
Just to let the board know, I was here with Ms. Place when she did that. That would have been on September 26th, the day before her.
I didn't see anything. Oh, monetary transaction 674.32.
That is it.
674.32. I just need a restitution form, and then I can apply that. Does your client want to make a statement?
No, Your Honor, she does not.
I reviewed the pre-sentence report and the recommendation, as well as Ms. Place's prior criminal history, which, as indicated by your attorney, Ms. Place, there was no prior criminal history. The concern the court has is how does one go almost 40 years without having any interactions with the court, has a good, stable employment as a governmental employee, and then one day makes a decision such as this to compromise themselves. I mean, not to say that any crimes are smarter than the other. This has to be the dumbest crime ever. Like, it's easily traceable. It made zero sense to me. And the report from probation was that the details from the police report were significantly different from what the defendant stated during the pre-sentence interview. Why is that, Ms. Place?
I don't, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. It was just a simple, honest mistake. I was working too quickly. I was booking stuff for spring break. I had everything wrote down, and I just transpired the numbers from up and down. I didn't have everything labeled like I should have, and that it was my mistake. I didn't realize it at the time until after the effect.
And Your Honor, just to clarify, she did a plea factual basis based on the fact that she realized that mistake and then didn't take any action to essentially return the person's money and essentially hung on to it at that point.
How is it that you accidentally used someone else's credit card number?
How did had it wrote down on the piece of paper along with my credit card number, and it was on the top line instead of the bottom line. And when I was putting everything in, I realized it after the fact and I didn't know what to do. I mean,
Why
looking
would
back,
why would your credit card number be written down at work?
because I was getting a new credit card through MSU Federal Credit Union, and my mom had sent it to me, and I was booking stuff for our spring break trip that day.
Okay, and then in your duties at work, you have access to other people's credit cards. Is that accurate?
So when at the time when the person called and said they were double booked, double charged for a license, we were told to take the credit card number down that they used, they would be refunded, and to send it to our manager at the time. And that's what I did. I had wrote it down. I had sent her a message in Zoom stating, this is the number, everything like that. It was conversations going back and forth. Everything was wrote down on a scrap piece of paper.
And I hear what you're saying. Still makes zero sense to me that if I'm at work and I have some level of fiduciary responsibility to other people's information, I would not put my credit card number down on a piece of paper where I put somebody else's credit card number down. It just makes no sense to me. The other concern is I recognize how we elicited the factual basis, but once you did learn of such error, which I'm sure should have been rather soon in short order from you booking the tickets, it's something as simple as canceling the tickets could have resolved that and notifying the owner of the mistake. But it only further makes me disbelieve your version now because of the fact that there was no actions taken to correct the issue. The recommendation of the probation department is that you scored a low risk on the dynamic risk and needs assessment, but that it would be appropriate for you to have a term of probation, primarily because I think he believes that the discrepancies between your rendition of what happened versus the police report, just they don't align. And I tend to agree with Mr. Neves when it comes to how this information registers as something as a logical mistake or not. The court's going to adopt the recommendation. I'm going to impose a term of 6 months probation. While on probation, you have to maintain employment. And I recognize your current employment status may shift as a result of this incident, but you'll be required to obtain new employment. Also, while on probation, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior, not to purchase a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. I'm not going to order PBT testing. And the amount of restitution, as stated on the record, that was posted as a special bond will be applied to the balance. I'm not going to require she report monthly for probation at this time. There's a $75 crime victim rights fee that must be assessed, plus a $50 state minimum cost that also must be assessed. And a $250 fine that will be assessed. You can make monthly payments on that, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
You will be required, of course, to provide evidence of employment. That's really the only requirement that I'm issuing to you. You're not going to be reporting. I'm not going to make you do tests and drops. You will, however, need to find some stable employment, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Lastly, there's an advice of rights as to probation. You've been placed on a term of 6 months probation before the 54A District Court, and your terms are specifically tailored to address your assessed risks and needs. You do have the right to request early discharge from probation once you completed half the time ordered by the court, so long as you're in compliance with the court and you've not had any violations, okay?
Okay.
And you would just make the request by using the court's NC 512 form. That's the form regarding notice for eligibility of early discharge from probation. That's on the court website, or you can get it from our probation department directly. You will make a copy of that and serve it on the AG's office. You ready with that? Or you're not? On the AG's office, and then also a copy on probation. The AG's office will have 14 days from receipt of that notice to make any objections to your early discharge. I don't believe under the circumstances that will happen. And then if there for some reason is a hearing scheduled to address the request, you have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You do not have the right to court-appointed counsel for early discharge from probation. You understand that?
Okay.
I've never held a hearing for early discharge. I've reviewed it based on the motion. Do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Okay, so your total fines and costs are going to be $375. Again, you do have the option of making payments on that over the next 6 months. That's approximately about $62. Council, was there an issue with the restitution?
There's not an issue per se, Your Honor. I just want to make sure I fill out correctly. Can I send it to the court either later today or tomorrow? Just
No problem. No problem. I can't apply it unless I have that on there.
part of the thing is I want to make sure that it goes to the right
The right
person or
person.
entity, depending on who is reimbursed and who's not.
Very good. Can you give me the amount again?
674.32.
674.32. Okay, I'll note that here, and then once we get that form, they can apply it. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing with the people, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I just had one question myself. With non-reporting probation, does Ms. Place ever need to meet with probation to go over orders one time, or is she?
She does need to meet still to go over the orders of probation.
Okay, so she would need to call probation and meet with them one time and then go from there.
Correct.
Okay.
Would it be the same person I already met with?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, any additional questions or matters for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, you're all set.